Hi there, Sharon Schenker from Los Angeles. Beautiful day in California here. I'm talking today about respect. Why? Because we're all cooped up together at home and I'm hearing conversations. My kids don't respect me, my spouse doesn't respect me, my partner doesn't respect me, people aren't calling me. People feel very disrespected. So I'm going to ask you, how would you define respect? Because it's very difficult unless you're coming up with synonyms. They didn't honor me, or they didn't respect me. So I'm going to break it down. R.E.S.P.E.C.T. R.E.S.P.E.C.T. Find out what it means to me. R.E.S.P. Okay, so I've broken it down into words for you, and we're going to go through these words to really push home how you can show respect to people that you love, people that are important to you. We're told in Pirkei Avos, in Ethics of the Fathers, who is honored? Someone that honors other people. Someone that respects other people is the respected person. So Judaism teaches us that honor is actually the realization that everyone's created in the image of God and deserves to be treated respectfully, because everyone is important. And that's what makes you special. So R.E.S.P.E.C.T. is R, role model. E is esteem. S is in speech. P is in public. E is with empathy. C is calendar. And T is touch and Torah. So we're going to grab all of those and bring it home. So R for role model. You're going to find a role model, be a role model, and see God as role model. So what's find? I want you to be able to identify a family or a couple that you look at and you respect greatly, even to the degree that I wish I was like them. And make a mental diary of the things that they do and the behaviors that they show to help you act and behave in that way. I remember when I first moved to Los Angeles, I had a couple here that was the president. He's passed on now, of blessed memory. His name was Joel Schwartz, and his wife Shelley. And I didn't know anyone else. And I would go and I needed to know what schools to send my kids to, where to live, what to do, everything, where to shop. And I would say to Joel of blessed memory, tell me, where do I do X, Y, and Z? And he would always say, oh, my wife, she's the wise person. She's the person that you should ask. And I would go to Shelley and say, Shelley, tell me about X, Y, and Z. She would say, my husband, Joel, really is the person to ask about this. And also, I love that. And I also, whenever we had Kiddush, which is after the service on the morning service on Shabbat, they always stood together at the Kiddush when everyone was eating and mingling. It's a chance to go and drop your family and see everybody else. And they were always together. And I love that they were with the person that was the most important in their life already. And everyone came to them. And I thought it was beautiful. So find a role model. Make mental diary of what they do. Then be a role model. The Stipler of says that role modeling is 50% of child rearing. And I also heard the Chofetz Chaim, so a great rabbi, someone went to him many years ago and said, tell me, Rabbi, I really want to be a great role model to my children. I want to be what do I need to do? And when should I start preparing for child rearing, for being a role model? And he said, well, tell me about your stage of life. And the guy said, well, my wife's pregnant. So the rabbi said, Mazel Tov. But it's already a few years too late. Definitely start today, because it's about personal refinement and character development. If you want to be the best role model, you start when you're single. Okay, so we got find a role model, be a role model. You are a role model whether you like it or not. You as the parent, you're the teacher and the educator of Jewish values to your children. And they're learning from you every minute of the day anyway. They're watching you. And then God as role model. We're meant to emulate Hashem all of the time. You know, one of the most famous lines in the Torah, it says you should love everyone like you love yourself. But it doesn't people don't know that the three words after that sentence is, you should love everyone like you love yourself. I am God. Because in order to know the proper way to treat everyone around us, we have to emulate and walk in the ways of the Almighty, of God. God is the best role model. So R, role model. B, find, and God as role model. Now we're on to E. E is esteem. Here's a question. What are you going to do today to make the people in your life, your children and your partner, know that they're the most important person in your life? How are you going to hold them on high esteem? Hold them as though they're on a pedestal. What are you going to do today to be their cheerleader? Now, oftentimes it's very easy with children. The kids are, they're just starting to toddle. They're walking, taking their first steps. And there you are behind them saying, wow, you can do it. You're amazing. You're fantastic. You're going to be running marathons soon. But then as they get older and bigger and uglier and you're stuck in Corona, it's like, leave me alone. And to the husband, it's amazing how easy it is to be respectful to the mailman and the UPS delivery person. But when you enter the threshold of your home, something changes. So it's to remain focused on, if you want to be able to give respect and be respected, hold the other person in high esteem, be their cheerleader. So another way to hold them in high esteem is to think about how you greet them. Obviously, no one's leaving the house right now, but when you see them first thing in the morning, or if you pop out, when you greet them as you come home during the day, or again, other people going in and out of the house. So I heard a great story from Lori Palatnik I want to share. About greetings. So she said that there was a man working long hours and he came home from work one day, knocks on the door, and the wife opens the door and the husband says, oh, I'm exhausted. Couch, couch, couch. Oh, honey, are you okay? Come, lie down on the couch. Come on. She helps him in. He lies down on the couch. Do you want something to drink? Oh, too tired to drink. Do you want something to eat? Too tired to eat. Sleep, sleep. And he lies on the couch and closes his eyes. The phone rings. Hello? Hi. No, I'm speaking softly because my husband's he's unavailable right now. Let me take a message. Mr. Smith? Oh, yes, a client of his? Okay. The husband jumps up. Oh, hello, grabs the phone. Mr. Smith, how are you? Yes, no problem. Oh, you want to sign the papers? No problem. I'll be there in 10 minutes. I'll meet you in the... Thank you so much for this opportunity, sir. Yes, I'll see you in 10 minutes. Okay, thank you. Bye. Click. He turns to his wife and he says, honey, I'll be back in about an hour. That was one of my clients and I have to sign some papers. And as he heads to the door, he feels her eyes burning on his back. And he says, am I in trouble? And she says, no, honey, you're not in trouble. You have just taught me and shown me how you're going to greet me with this amount of energy every single day forever. Because otherwise I'm going to feel that a client of yours, someone that you've only known recently, is more important than I. So I'm looking forward to that wonderful energy every day. So again, how you greet someone and how you speak to someone is a tremendous way to show someone that you respect them, that they're really important to you. R.E.S.P.E.C.T. R, role model. Find. B, God as role model. R.E, esteem. Be someone's cheerleader. How are you going to make them feel important? How do you greet them? Now we're on to S, which is speech. Speech, woo! Sticks and stones will break my bones and names will never hurt me is just false. It's not true. Words hurt. So generally people know that there's a whole section of deep value where in Judaism we're not allowed to speak badly about someone else. And that is called Lashon Hara, evil speech. We can't speak about someone else in a negative way. Under those laws, there's another one called Anoas Devarim, which is really just the details under the sections of speaking badly about one another. It's one of the negative prohibitions in the Torah. And it's called a Noas Devarim, which is really painful words, hurting someone with your words. And if we really knew the intricacies of that and were mindful not to do them, we'd be able to show respect through our speech in a much better way. So the Rambam wrote a message to his son, a letter to his son. And in that letter, he said the advice he wanted to give his son was that you should always speak to everyone calmly, in a calm voice. And boy, do we need that help. So as I said before, sometimes when you walk over the threshold of your home, everything changes. Even if the words don't change, the tone changes. And we have to think about the music of our voice. And you can not raise your voice to someone, but speak like this. And again, it's showing contempt and upset. And with the children, the way we speak to them, it's not barking orders with and the child is down here, but it's being able to make requests instead of demands, to say, is it possible, instead of do this, do that, put your shoes on, go here, don't. It's harsh. And again, you're always role modeling respect. Whether you like it or not, they learn from you every minute of the day, and you're their hero. And they're going to take everything that you dish out, and they're going to think that that's normal. So be mindful of respecting the children and respecting your partner, people that you live with. P, public. Public is a massive one. Okay, how to show, they're all important, but how to show respect. So public is the harshest way that you can embarrass someone is to disrespect them in public. I hear this often. A guy will say, I was telling a story and everything I said, she contradicted me. I've had people at my Shabbat table, couples, where the guy or the girl is saying, oh, the event was amazing, there was about 100 people there. And the woman will say, no, there was about 40 people there. And he's saying the traffic, there was so much traffic. He wants to flower or exaggerate his story, whether right or wrong, because it sounds better. And she's saying, there wasn't that much traffic. The traffic was actually quite light. And his whole story, she contradicted it. It was very embarrassing. Don't contradict anyone. You can politely say, oh, I thought I learned that a different way. Or I remember it differently, but better just wait until after you've left and you can talk about it later. You know, oh, that was interesting you remembered it that way. Or don't say anything at all. Public is also on Facebook. People air their dirty laundry on Facebook, often with their relationship with themselves and their children. Had a terrible day, my kids drove me insane. Or I can't deal with being with my wife 24/7. Oh, and all these comments, let it go. Your relationship is meant to be private, not for public consumption. So I give you a challenge. The challenge is, it's a 30-day challenge. For 30 days, try and say nothing, well, don't say anything negative about your partner or your children to them or to anyone else, and say something positive to them and to someone else about them. I dare you. Try the 30-day challenge. It will change your experience of Corona. P for public is, we're told in Judaism, you're not meant to embarrass anyone. It's as though temporarily you're taking away their self-esteem in that moment. And it's akin to murder. So we don't want to do that. So R.E.S.P.E. E is for empathy. So I remember I saw a video, also heard Brene Brown. She's an awesome therapist and author and speaker. She was explaining what empathy is. And our children need a lot of it right now, as do everyone else around us. So she said, she's walking down the street and you see a pit and you look down the pit and you go, oh, there's someone down there. Oh dear, there's someone down there. That's sympathy. Okay, it's like, oh dear. You're walking along and you see a pit, and you look down in the pit and you go, oh no, there's some, oh hello, oh you're down there, and you climb down in the pit and you say, oh, this is what it's like in here. Oh, it's so dark in here. Well, this is what it feels like in here. This is empathy. There's a big difference. So to show someone that they're important and to give respect, you want to give empathy. Giving empathy anytime makes the other person feel heard and feel loved. That's empathy. Moving on to C. So R.E.S.P.E.C.T. We've done role model, to find, to be, and God as role model. Our E is esteem. How you greet them, to be their cheerleader, to hold them on high esteem. How can you make them feel important today? S is speech. The amount of laws that we have in the Torah, that not to hurt someone with words, to make requests instead of demands, to say, is it possible, to give compliments. P is in public. Don't contradict them. Know that you represent them and reflect them, your family, how you are in public. 30-day challenge public. Say something nice to them and about them, to someone else, and don't say anything negative to them or about them. And now we did empathy, which is being able to get down and be in their shoes. And we're moving on to C for calendar. Calendar is letting the other person know that you are thinking about them and that they're important to you. In their calendar, your child has a test that they were struggling with and they revised and revised. Make sure that after they come home or after they've done their online test, you check in with them. How was the test? How did it go? Or someone has a meeting. Say, how was the meeting? Something grand happened at work and they made a presentation. How did it go? Also to remember birthdays and anniversaries and important days. That's a way through calendar to show respect. There's also date night. Date night, my husband, Rabbi Moti Schenker, coined a phrase. He said, you dated to get married, now you have to date to stay married. When you go out on a date, and we have done for nearly 20 years, every single week, you make a commitment of when it's going to happen. You get childcare every week, no matter what. And you go out and you talk about the things that are meaningful to you, meaningful conversation. And it's your job to find the effort, to put the effort in to make it a meaningful experience. And fun, you've got to have fun together. You date to stay married, so you've got to date you date to get married, so you have to date to stay married. Also with the children. Showing respect to children is, I want to spend time with you. Make sure you try and spend time with each child every day. And it shows them that, wow, she thinks I'm amazing. It's an opportunity to build their self-esteem and to let them have a safe environment where it doesn't matter what happens on the virtual playground of life right now, but at home I have someone who loves me and accepts me and cares for me and wants to spend time with me. And that time with the kids is time doing something that they're going to want to do, not what you're going to want to do. It has to be enjoyable for them. C, and now we're on to T. On the C, on calendar and date night, you want to also make sure, and here's a big one, that there's eye contact, not iPhone or iPad or anything, iPod, but eye contact. Do you remember when you have ever been on a date before? Imagine taking out the computer and the telephone. You would never do such a thing if you're on a date. So don't do it. Give eye contact to people that are important to you. It makes them feel important. It's a way of showing respect. So now we're at Torah, T. T is for Torah. Torah is wisdom for living. You know, it's our instruction book, how to get the most and how to have the best relationships and life that we possibly can. It's, imagine you have a telephone, you buy the telephone and you can't figure out today, everything has pictures. So you can figure out, if I press the one that has the phone, I'm going to make a call, and I press those numbers, and there's a camera button. I can figure out how to use it. But the person who made the phone wrote an instruction booklet, how you can get the most out of the phone. So that's the same. And also, if I read the instruction booklet, I might be able to file files, send audio files, go and save things on the cloud, make video montages. There's so many different things that you can do when you read the instruction booklet. And it's the same with life and relationships. Everything in the Torah was written by God. God created the entire world and you and I, and everything else that's in it. And he wrote the instruction booklet of how to get the most out of life. So if we don't read it, I'll figure out that if I don't whack you, you're not going to whack me back. But if I read the instruction booklet, I'll be able to live life to its fullest. T is also touch. People thrive when they're touched. We've heard all these studies of babies, some that were touched and some weren't, and the ones that were touched most were able to thrive more. But also touch in a relationship with your partner. Touch is an amazing way to show respect and love. And touch is a way that you can connect. And with the children, make sure to hug and touch them, because oftentimes they so desperately want it and you don't want to be bothered and you push them away. But this way, you can bring them close until, often we've heard, till they release the hug. Not you, because you're done. But show respect through touch. So we're going to round up and wrap up today. We've done how important respect is in relationships, and that the person we're told is the person who is honoured is one who honours others. But it's very difficult to define. So I've defined it. R.E.S.P.E.C.T. This is what it means to me. R is role model. You have to find a role model, make a mental diary, be a role model. You're being a role model anyway to the people around you. And use Hashem, as God, as role model, because God has the perfect balance of character. E for esteem. Esteem, hold them in high esteem. Put them on a pedestal. How are you going to communicate to them that they're really important? Be their cheerleader. S is in speech. Don't hurt people with words. Validate them. Don't disrespect them. P is for public. In public is a way that if you embarrass them, it's akin to murder in Judaism, because you're temporarily taking away their self-esteem. Don't contradict them in public. Don't call them names in public. Don't be rude to them in public. E is empathy, climbing down into the pit and feeling what it feels like. Your children are also missing out on things. Make people be heard through empathy, which allows them to feel important. C is calendar. Know what's going on in their life and be able to check in with it and check up on what's going on. Date night. You dated to get married. Date now to stay married, and be able to make a meaningful connection, not with eye contact, but not with the iPhone or iPad or anything else. And we finished with touch, the touch and Torah. Touch is an incredible way to show affection, and Torah, that's wisdom for living. You want to get the most out of life? Check out the Torah. That's instructions written by the creator of our lives. So sending love to all of you from sunny Los Angeles.